Legal.
Class of that one sex, they call them quintessential. Blacks on that future turn up, they full of that potential. Yup, now you done grown up, yup. Let's start talking about the future, get turned up. Finally made it to your graduation. I think it's time to do some college preparation. So I called up all my girls, some boss ones, and they came to tell a story, how they got it done.
Hi, my name is Vanessa.
Hello, my name is Tony.
My name is Courtney Thomas.
My name is Ada.
My name is Keisha Lee.
My name is Crystal.
My name is Dara.
There's so many industries and careers. To narrow it down, you should be asking yourself, what am I good at? What keeps my attention? What do people compliment me on? It could be one thing you're sure of, or a number of things, but nothing in particular really sticks out. That's okay. It's common. Which is why once people get into college, they switch their major, minor in an alternate field, or sometimes end up working in a completely different industry than what they studied. But you're not alone.
So before I got into college, I knew that I wanted to help people, and I was fascinated by the human body. So I wanted to get into biology and study pre-med.
I did know what I wanted to do when I was 10 years old. I told my parents I would be a doctor. I had nurses in the family, but there's something about having autonomy and being a leader that appealed to me, and not just taking orders from other people. So I knew that I wanted to be the person learning enough to lead the team and be in charge.
As you can probably see, have my students in the background, I am a teacher, and everyone in my family is probably a teacher for many, many, many generations. I tried to get away from it, but in high school, they had a program called BEST, and it was for future teachers. They have like Teachers of America and some other organizations in high schools like that. So I got to really see, is this something that I think I can do and I think that I want to do? And let me get my feet wet. And it kind of sealed the deal, like, yeah, I keep trying to back away from it, but this is something that I want to do. So I knew I wanted to go into education.
I did know what I wanted to do before I went into college, but that came from the fact that I knew I liked helping people.
I kind of knew what I wanted to do before I went to college. I knew I wanted to major in computer science. And the reason I knew that is because I knew that technology would be a very lucrative and profitable career, in addition to having a lot of different opportunities and different avenues of, where you want to take your career.
When I graduated, I had an idea that I wanted to continue with something related to graphic design and interactive media. So I started to look at my different options for colleges.
What I did in high school is I took dual credit courses. I did not let people tell me that, oh, that's just for the smart kids. No, that's for the kids that want to work hard and don't want to waste their time. They want to get done what they need to get done so they can get to the good stuff. So I graduated with 33 college hours. So technically when I graduated high school and went to college in the fall, because I also took a couple of summer classes at the local junior college, I was a sophomore in high school. No, in college. I was a sophomore in college when I went for fall 2005.
So before I graduated from high school, I knew that I wanted to be a singer. I knew that I loved to dance, and I wanted to do something related to entertainment. But I also knew that in order to be a professional singer, there was no guaranteed path to that, and there's no degree in it. So I tried to find a major that was related to entertainment.
So I studied and actually graduated from Texas Christian University, proud Horned Frog. That is located in Fort Worth, Texas.
I went to Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas, and majored in nursing.
I majored in history at Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas.
I went to Baylor University in Waco, Texas. I majored in computer science and I minored in business administration. I actually decided to add the minor because I wanted to diversify and make sure that I could talk to business people, basically.
I attended Prairie View A&M University in HBCU right outside of Houston. I did not want to go to Prairie View initially. Everybody and their mama went to Prairie View. It seemed like the easy thing to do. And I was kind of seeking an environment that was a little bit more diverse and just not typical. I wanted a different kind of experience, but my parents really wanted me to try Prairie View. So I did. And after my first year, I absolutely loved Prairie View. It is an entertainment-oriented school. So eventually I moved to communications, which was a perfect marriage because in communications you learn about PR, you learn about marketing, you learn about digital editing and being on camera. So it was all the fundamentals that I needed to eventually go into the music industry.
Because I had good mentorship and pre-college mentoring, I was able to pursue my goals and have hands-on experience before I went to college. I also was guided by a mentor to attend a Black college tour, which was something that I didn't know anything about, but everybody around me and all their parents wanted us to go and experience that tour, and it was a life-changing event for me. Because of the tour, I was able to select a school, Morgan State University, which was about 4 hours from home in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's a historically Black college, or university, I should say, at this point, and I majored in biology.
Another good thing about being a communications major was after college, if my music career wasn't popping off per se, I could go into other fields like marketing or, journalism. So it gave me that backup plan that I needed and that my parents needed to hear, to know that their money was being spent well.
I had to audition to get into my high school. I had a portfolio of all of my artwork. I majored in visual arts and I minored in drama. So it kind of helped me get out of my shell as just a kid that used to draw in a room and also have to get out on the stage in front of my peers. And it helped foster my love of the arts all around, from anything visual to the performing arts. It was really a great high school experience. And when I graduated, I had an idea that I wanted to continue with something related to graphic design and interactive media. So I started to look at my different options for colleges. I was looking at Howard University. I was also looking at a couple of schools here in Michigan. I even had a scholarship to Adrian College, but I really didn't want to live in a small town. I wanted to go to a big city. So I ended up in Chicago at the International Academy of Design and Technology. And I majored in interactive media. So I got to learn graphic design, animation, both 2D animation and 3D animation. I also took creative writing courses and filmmaking courses. So I learned about video production and editing, and it was a really good experience because that curriculum got me right into working on creative projects right away.
Researching what schools are known for is important for you to do right now. But also consider details such as how close or far away from home would you like to be? Is there a town nearby if you decide you would like to work while at school? Would I prefer an HBCU? A more diverse school? A specialty school like the Art Institute or MTI? Or perhaps a Christian university? Most importantly, which ones specialize in what you want to do? It's also good to know that you could always start at a junior college to cover your basic courses, which would allow you to start those beginning college courses without paying big university prices.
What I liked about Texas Tech University is that it was a large campus in a small college town. And with 23,000 students, there was plenty of opportunity to get involved, have a good time, and of course, get a top-notch education.
What I really enjoyed about Baylor is that it was a Christian university. So we had You could definitely relate with the professors. You knew that they all, for the most part, had your best interest in mind and were coming from the same space that you were in as far as being a Christian. Um, I also like the fact that it was smaller in comparison to A&M or your UTs, those schools, where you're really just a number. A lot of my classes and my professors knew my name and knew things about me because it was smaller. But like I say, small is relative, especially now, but it's still smaller than A&M and UT.
It's a great campus. I liked it because it was a private university, so all the classes were small. It was intimate. I was able to, be able to talk to the teachers more, and it wasn't so overwhelming like a UT where you have 60,000 people that you probably will see once every semester. So I really enjoyed it, and Fort Worth is a great town.
I had a smaller classroom size, which was important. I'd already taken some college courses at the University of Pittsburgh, which is my hometown, and I knew that a classroom with 500 students and TAs as your first primary stop for questions wasn't really what I wanted to do. It's something that I had experienced already when I had college credits entering my undergraduate years. Second, really enjoyed having professors that knew my name. They knew what my goals were. If they saw you going astray, they'd pull you back in and say, hey, here's what you need to be doing, or here's what I see in you, here's your potential, and I want to support you, but here are your responsibilities. And as an honor student with a full scholarship, they were very, very intent on making sure we were successful.
I love Sam Houston. It is a mixed culture. It's not, I would say it's a white school. It's a black school. It is a school that has a little bit of everything. They put education first. We still had a lot of fun activities. I originally did not want to go to Sam Houston. I wanted to go to an HBCU. My parents both graduated from Grambling State University. I am a baby Gramblinite all the way. But they also taught me go to a school that best fits your needs. I want to be a teacher, I want to major in history, and I want to be in the state of Texas. So to get certified to teach in the state of Texas, you need to go to a school in the state of Texas, which I could have went to Prairie View. But Sam Houston accepted me in 2 days. It took Prairie View 2 weeks to decide that they wanted to have me, and I decided that I'm going to go with the school that quickly was able to give me information. They quickly were able to get all my paperwork done. I mean, they are super, super quick. So shouts out to Sam Houston. I do not regret my experience there. I still had fun, but I got my books done. And immediately when I got out of school, I had a job. So that was kind of what was important to me. I did not choose to go to the big schools because of how costly they are. If I'm coming out with the same degree, these days people are looking at, do you have the degree and can you do the job, a little more over some of the schools. So while some of my friends got the same degree and they went off to big schools, they had to go move back in with their parents and pay off lots of debt. And I got a scholarship. I did not have lots of debt to pay off, and I immediately moved into my own place, and that was really important to me.
Homecoming is an experience as you get older that's very important because when you go into the working world, you don't have much diversity. Often you may be the only person of color who is on a team or even leading a team. And when you go to your homecoming, you get to see again, the rich history in the making and also in action. You get to see people who are leaders in your community.
I'm glad that I went there because I made a lot of friends. I ended up getting my associate's degree. I didn't go on to get my bachelor's because I was so anxious to, quote unquote, get out into the real world and start working and applying my skills. When I graduated from high school, I actually had a job opportunity to work for a graphic design firm in Michigan, but I turned that down because, well, my mom said, you need to go to college. So that's kind of that story, and I'm glad I did.
But who could know without actually going to these schools? That's why it's great to visit. You get a feel of the students, the classrooms, the food, the extracurriculars, the surrounding communities, and what are these dorm rooms going to be like?
I ended up working in the nursing field and currently work as a nurse and charge nurse and Memorial Hermann Hospital in Houston, Texas.
I ended up working in the technology field today. When I first graduated, I was in the consulting field. I worked at Accenture as a consultant, and I think that was a really good entry job because as a consultant, especially fresh out of college, you do a lot of different things. Some days I would program, some days I would do business analysis, some days I would do project management. I got to really see what I did and didn't like, confirm some things I already knew that I wouldn't like. Back to what I'm doing today. I'm currently working at HP as a strategic partner for strategy, procurement and operations and information management IT. So what that really means is I support a level 5 manager for anything that that person needs regarding procurement, operations, finances for their entire org. I'm also assist with strategy as far as, resources, how we want to proceed, what projects we want to take, things like that. I recently started this position, so it's new to me. I'm actually more comfortable as a project manager. That's what I prefer to do. And that's what I've been doing. I actually have my PMP certification. But I decided to try something different and challenge myself. You always want to challenge yourself so you don't get bored. And here I am.
And I actually ended up working at a newspaper on the south side of Chicago called the Hyde Park Herald. I was the youngest person on the staff. I was the graphic designer laying out the newspaper every week. It was a good experience for me to work while I was in school, but sometimes it got a little stressful. But I did make some great connections and had some wonderful networking opportunities there.
So ironically, I did not practice medicine after college. I actually got into sales, recruiting, and now I'm in corporate recruiting in the human resources department for Ventura Realty. It is a property management company. We own and manage apartment communities in 5 different states in the South. So I enjoy it. It's still a facet of helping people. It's just not dealing with the human body.
I did end up eventually working as a full-time recording artist. It wasn't easy, but it took me about 3 years after college and 3 9-to-5 jobs to actually get there. I ended up signing to Atlantic Records in 2008 in a singing group. Today I am an independent solo artist, no longer under that major label umbrella by choice. I'm also a voiceover artist, so I do various voices for commercial copy, for commercials on television, on radio, for cartoon animation, sometimes for children's toys or applications. And it kind of gives me that bread and butter that I need to be constant while I get my name out on a bigger scale in the music industry.
I would try a little harder to look into fields that are out of my comfort zone.
If I could change anything about the path that I took, I would have did a little bit more research before going into college about different paths to the music industry and labels, what exactly a label does, because people actually want to get signed all the time and they think that that's just the end of it, when in actuality you are running this business yourself. You are an entrepreneur. So I would have done a whole lot more research about things that I needed to know in order to run my music career for itself and not be dependent upon a record label, knowing how to fund things on my own. So I guess a little bit of business sense would have been helpful.
To get more involved in my school counseling system, I really did not take advantage of all the great counselors at Stephen F. Austin High School. I knew that I wanted to help people, but I think if I were to talk to the counselors more about other opportunities outside of just pre-health, they would have recommended human resources, because obviously I'm a people person. If I would have done it all over again, I would have done the essays. I would have looked for scholarships that are applicable for minorities. Heck, you can get a scholarship for writing left-handed, right-handed, both. You can get a scholarship for being a twin.
I don't think I would change anything if I could about my path. I think you learn through the struggles, you make the best you can of any opportunity, stay focused, and what more could you ask for?
In high school, stay active, stay busy.
Any advice that I can give is to remain financially responsible. Don't borrow any extra money that you don't need it because you're always going to have to pay it back with interest. And work as hard as you can and always have a little bit of something for a rainy day.
So my advice to you ladies is to stay true to yourself.
I would say the most important advice is to stay true to yourself.
This is the time of your life that you're really exploring yourself, you're really figuring out who you really are. You know, live your life for you, not for others. So make sure whatever you decide to do, you are passionate about it and you love it. Whether it's, dance or biology or, touring the world or studying, rocks. Whatever the case may be, make sure that you're doing it and you're not doing it for others.
Sometimes you may change your mind from one day to the next or 1 week to the next, and that's okay. But just kind of listen to your own gut feel. You may have advice from family members or friends, and you should take all of that in and make your own choices. But there were times when, there were different people in my family who did not believe I would be successful in the arts because they didn't think that that would be a real career. So I heard a lot of stories about how I was going to be a starving artist. But I knew that they were saying that from a place of love. And I respect where they were coming from, but at the same token, I'm glad that I stuck to my vision because on the other side of the equation, if I would have done something different with my life, I don't think I'd be as happy and fulfilled as I am today. So listen to that inner voice.
Please apply broadly to scholarships.
Any scholarships that you can apply for, I would apply for every single one. I mean, it's a little bit time consuming, obviously, to fill out all the applications, but it's worth it.
Scholarships saved my life. I got a Cecil Taylor scholarship. It is one for the activities you do in church, and it gave me $5,000 a semester.
I received a full scholarship, which didn't hurt. And I was only 17 when I went to college, so my parents were really happy to have me a little closer to home and did have some family nearby. So
my take on scholarships is to apply for everything that you can, even if you feel like by GPA or by any other small standard, you may not qualify. Don't count yourself 100% out. You never know when you may be one of the few applicants and may be overqualified for some of these opportunities.
Visit the schools. Anyone you know that goes to a school or that graduated from the school that you're interested in, talk to them. Ask them questions. Most people are more than willing to talk about their alma mater. I know I am.
One in particular that paid for all of my books and supplies such as graphing calculators, computers, and things of that nature, or I would pay for it and be reimbursed. So you should apply broadly.
Don't be discouraged. Try to get things done ahead of time and never say, oh, I have all this time. No, go ahead. You got time today? Do it today. Start looking into what do you want to do and just give things a try.
The truth is college is not for everyone, but college was for me. Even though my particular industry does not require a degree, it does require diligence and experience and trial and error and just people skills. You meet all kinds of people, so you learn more about yourself and how you deal in social settings, how you deal working with other people. And there's no better place to do that at than a school where you're trapped with tons of people that you like and you don't like, and it's just like real life. So I would definitely take it into consideration. And if not, see what else is out there to help you foster your particular gift.
So that's about it, kiddos. Where do you go from here? Be a starter. Study vigorously for your SATs. Sign up and put the test dates down in a calendar on your phone with alerts. How you score is your representation to the college. Talk to somebody, to counselors at school, family members, or mentors for direction on fields that you may be good in, and apply for as many scholarships as humanly possible. Research schools that specialize in those fields and find out what kind of classes you will have to take, what the school culture is like, how far it is from home, and how much the tuition is. Make a list of the ones that stand out. Tour the campuses. Plan a couple of college tours. You have plenty of family members who are willing to take you. And make it a fun road trip. They're here for you and want you to seize every opportunity and live a life free from regrets. Apply. Take a week to apply to all those schools. There's nothing to lose. There are fees for each application. Save up for them or ask your family for donations. A GoFundMe page is a great option.
I'm currently working in
Delta Sigma Theta. Okay, and
I'm a Delta, so that's always beneficial.
I personally joined the illustrious organization of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and have made lifetime friendships, and
I will always recommend Baylor as a school of choice.
got to spend some of their homecomings at Prairie View, and they beat Sam Houston homecoming. But we got more free stuff.
I ended up working